This week at NASA.
Landing gear down and locked.
After more than 30 years, NASA's shuttle era has come to a close. Atlantis made a picture-perfect pre-dawn landing at the Kennedy Space Center during STS-135's 200th orbit of Earth.
Mission complete, Houston. After serving the world for over 30 years, the space shuttle's earned its place in history and it's come to a final stop.
Brought safely home after 13 days of stocking up the International Space Station for the post-shuttle era was the STS-135 crew. Commander Chris Ferguson, pilot Doug Hurley, and mission specialists Sandy Magnus and Rex Walheim.
It's a great day to be here and to welcome the STS-135 crew back home. I personally want to salute them and everybody who's been involved in this program.
Although we got to take the ride, we sure hope that everybody who has ever worked or touched or looked at or envied or admired a space shuttle was able to take just a little part of the journey with us.
In all, Atlantis made 4,848 orbits of its home planet throughout 307 days in space. The orbiter traveled almost 5.3 million miles over 33 flights.
As I stood out on the runway and stared at it, I looked at this winged vehicle and I thought about all the systems and when they were designed back in the 70s, and it was a true marvel.
Hearing the sonic booms as Atlantis came home for the last time really made it drive home to me that this has been a heck of a program.
Everybody feels good that we got the crew home safely, and we're looking forward to our next challenges.
After being towed from the runway, Atlantis was parked outside Orbiter Processing Facility 2 for several hours, while workers walked around and photographed the shuttle.
You guys rock.
Thanks for all that you do, all that you've done over the last 30-plus years. You know, the astronaut office is indebted to you all.
We've seen you firsthand at how you process this vehicle and how it is your baby. The space flight business really does run in our blood.
The pride you take in your work, the care you take in your work, the dedication, the passion, you are what makes it possible for us to have these very challenging missions and succeed.
This was also the setting for an employee appreciation event hosted by two former shuttle astronauts, NASA Administrator Charlie Bolden and Kennedy Center Director Bob Cabana.
We got a lot to celebrate today. An outstanding mission, a successful program for 30 years. But, you know, in the end, the space shuttle is just hardware. What really makes NASA, what makes KSC, is each and every one of you.
This final shuttle flight makes the end of an era, but also the start of a remarkable new chapter in our nation's story of exploration.
With 135 missions flown over 30-plus years, the iconic shuttle, NASA's Space Transportation System, has left a legacy worthy of celebration. Lessons learned during these past decades will serve as stepping stones for the new era of human space exploration to follow. While Shuttle Atlantis is deserviced in Rpfe2, Orbiter Discovery will reside in Kennedy's Vehicle Assembly Building, the VAB. It was recently shuttled there from Rpfe2. Discovery is being prepared for public display at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center in Virginia. Its last mission was STS-133, conducted earlier this year.
I want you to stick your chest out and say, my mom, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, they work for NASA.
Administrator Charles Bolden helped kick off Take Your Children to Work Day at headquarters. Geared toward children ages 7 to 15, the event featured hands-on activities, presentations, and demonstrations to teach children about space, aeronautics, chemistry, and the work we do at NASA.
So you can go back and say, this is what they do. And if you want to see something about it, go to the NASA website. Go to www.nasa.gov, and you can see what my mom and dad do.
My first job out of college was working for none other than John H. Glenn.
Deputy Administrator Laurie Garver joined Center Director Ray Lugo in officiating at the Glenn Research Center's annual Honor Awards ceremony. The awards were presented to individuals who've made significant contributions to the agency.
But I grew up in the Cold War.
While at Glenn, Garver also sat down with 25 high school and college interns from 3 programs that offer support and direction for young men and women to undertake NASA careers after furthering their education in science, technology, engineering, and math.
And now, centerpieces.
Rising high school seniors from around the Commonwealth spent a week of their summer at NASA